back to probably not work because you know how that goes. Okay, I am going through the deal because I just realized that um essentially halfway goes through a service door on the ticket booths. Now, you're I'm picturing a plot of land. Now, obviously, it could go further down below, but I'm thinking one level below where service area is. That's where the Royal Depot in the back and towards the bottom. That's why you have to go down the stairs, right? And then you have to go up the stairs to the platform, and then down the stairs. You can go to the service tunnels, or you can go up into the castle proper, which actually goes up into the throne room, or actually goes up into the north hallway. The north hallway, and then you can have access to the throne room. If I got my mind right. This is real consistency in the current pages. You want vertical model. Surface: West Terrace, ticket booths, courtyard, covered walks, throne room, East Terrace, tourist exit. Below, staff quarters, lower kitchens, bedrooms, utility door style path halfway uses. above, galleries, towers, whatever else, optional higher floors. So tourists never go up to the courtyard. They're already on surface when they clear the booths and walk into the court. South Walk or Fountain Path. Halfway's door left of the ticket booths opens as a staff entry. Immediately move should be down one level into service. Uh, Later, when he needs courtyard throne room level again, he comes back up to the surface that matches the service under the show. What the files say now out of date, going in, and the outline and terror in the skies, etc. Text. Still treat ticket door space as if the courtyard is above. Door by counters already in the service corridor. Stairs up to the main floor. Courtyard up the gallery. Stairs along descending a level. So the old beat was tickets below main. Your lock is tickets equals courtyard's service below. Clean rewrite shape when you want it written. Stop door left of the booths. Stair ramp down into service. Choice stay in the service. And work east under the castle, or take the stairs up into the courtyard north toward throne room. Tourist path stays entirely on the surface booth court. No file changes unless you ask. Want to park this as the locked vertical rule. Um, does it make sense? I don't mean I don't in the sense meaning would that be logical? Obviously I'm making stuff up, but it should still serve a consistent world logic and spatial reasoning. I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for, but that doesn't really matter, does it? Um, Fear goes to the wall, time taking chances. Does it make sense? Meaning, would that be logical? Obviously, um, I guess it makes sense. I'm not sure what I'm saying. I'm saying, it's how a building might actually be actually set up. I mean, does that work as a real setup? It's logical. It's also how a lot of real show architecture works. Resort houses, theme parks, both floor on grade, back of the house underneath, why it holds together. Tickets and courtyard on the same level. Guests arrive on the west terrace, check in, and walk straight into the castle's public heart. No fake up to the courtyard after they're already outdoors at the entry height. That matches how people read space. Service one floor down. Staff kitchen, stores, quiet corridors under the postcard deck. Guests don't see the machinery of the resort. Halfway using that layer is exactly what the layer is for. Staff door beside the booths. Classic public counters on the show floor. A discreet door for employees that drops to the utilidor. From the guest's eye, it says staff only. From halfways, it's the rabbit hole. Up again the courtyard. When he needs access, he ascends. Um, Throne room north of the court, still on surface. Authority sits on the show floor, not buried with the kitchens. Service supports it from underneath. It doesn't live down there. One small consistency check, easy to keep straight. West turret tickets, court throne, east tourist exit, one continuous surface datum service before under that plate. Anything gallery upper is truly above surface, not a rename for the courtyard. The old pros conflict stares up to the courtyard from the ticket door was a illogical bit. Your correction removes that. Optional nuance not required. The staff door can open into a short landing vestibule at the surface, then stairs down so it's not quite literally falling through the floor in view of the queue. Still, the intent of that door into service and down. Made up king, yes, but spatial reasoning is consistent and believable. Okay. Okay, there is also a consideration of the service door versus courtyard versus throne room. Now, the service doors to the north, going underneath the covered walkway west to east. You know, we always say east to west, always. But when traveling, we're always traveling west to east. That's not entirely true. I mean, if I'm here in Florida, if I decide to go back to the West Coast, I'm going east to west, right? But when we always refer to things in a direction, we always refer east to west, which is on the right-hand side going left, instead of west going east. Which is what I'd like to be doing, except for the whole stupid West Coast is a liberal cesspool. So... Okay, west to east. Just in front of the phone room access, double doors or whatever. I can still keep it there, but in the throne room, there's also probably a door. It also has to go up. So I'm thinking, do I remove the service doors that go into the courtyard and have them enter the throne room, or not, because the king or administration might not want regular staff to use the throne room as regular access. I officially turned 1 yesterday, and I'm streaming some game dev, not advertisement. Really, I'm just discussing layout, rock build. Keep both kinds of access with different roles. Don't make the throne room the staff highway. If you have spatially, service runs west to east under the north side, roughly under the behind the north covered walk. Up from that line, get hit. Courtyard, north arcade, public adjacent, and or throne room itself. Throne room audience chamber is ceremonial and political, not corridor. Regular staff. Cutting through it every day breaks the worlds of dignity and Max King's control vibe. You enter Maxi solo off the stage versus backstage. Throne as a stage. Clean door logic. Service north arcade. Courtyard edge. Day-to-day trays, messages. Service throne room restricted. King admins, maybe a steward. Not the lunch rush. Throne courtyard double doors. Maybe. Short answer, don't remove the courtyard service doors in favor of throne only. Throne gets its own up door for people who belong there. Everyone else stays out. It's a shortcut. Yeah, should have logically. I might have the north side covered walk off limits to tourists. Maybe there's a barrier with a gate entry into the rest of the courtyard, so staff can always move into the courtyard or other areas, but still generally off limits to tourists unless the gate is open for an audience with the king. I had originally conceived, originally, I had originally decided that the throne room would also be what would I call it? The administration, the actual administration room, the actual uh, like a conference room for your staff. The head being the king, but it might make more sense to have some room off of the throne room to keep administration backstage and to Every's cleaner than using the throne as both stage and daily conference table. North Walk is restricted. North Walk, staff, state strip, barrier, gate toward the open court. Gate usually closed. Throne facade is look, don't stroll. Gate open for announced audiences. Controlled spill of public into the north side. Staff can still pop up from the service into that north band and then into court or east-west without making the throne a hallway. Throne audience hall. Ceremony, petitions, mirror calls that need to look of the crown, rear big meetings. Side chamber, council / storage room, senior staff, day-to-day running of the lands. Max's real desk work if he isn't performing. That matches how courts actually work. The hall is theater. The solar / privy council anteroom is where decisions happen. Your older throne equals conference room. King of the head can still be true sometimes. Formal council in the big room. Default operations live live off stage next door, so regular senior staff doesn't tramp throne carpet. Public king / max optic state control halfway, or anyone invading admin isn't automatically standing in the audience hall. Simple adjacency. North facade, double doors, throne. From throne or from the north walk, service stair, door into council, admin. Stair can service upstairs. Upstairs. For the admin side for routine throne. Stair for restricted. Same ideas before, just with the proper backstage room. Throne room ceremonial. Put administration in a room off of it. That's consistency on political logic. Staff can also just go into the double doors into the throne room. Going north depending on what side of the north walk they're on. Staff could also just go in the double doors in the throne room, and then we'll say hang a right. We'll say standalone console app that uses draw 4.5 or probably 6 here soon for building apps and making reports and things of this nature. You can have it read certain files on your hard drive if you give it access, and if you designate the working directory. So I have it I gave it access to my project folder so it can access my files. It kind of does what Notebook does, but also like projects and that sort of thing. Also, like cursor, which bot to build apps for. Right to the side chamber, the regular resort administration. Yes, that works as a senior castle staff path as long as it's not very porter with every porter with a laundry cart. On the North Walk, restricted band through the double doors, heading north into the throne audience hall, hanging right into the side chamber, day-to-day resort administration. Spatially, that's clear. Throne on axis north of the court. Admin chamber on the east side of the throne room. Right turn as you enter the south-facing doors. How to keep it logical with throne is in a hallway. Treat this as authorized staff only. Stewards, senior admins, max people, same people who belong in that side. Heavier, grubbier service still uses service. North Walk or other ups doesn't cut the throne unless they have business. Tourists only when the court gate is open for an audience. They stop in the hall. They don't hang a right into admin. Yeah. Nice side effect. Halfway or anyone sneaking can look like he belongs if he walks thrown right into admin or get exposed if he's in the big room with no reason to be there. So double doors, north into throne chamber is solid lock for official indoor route. So in this case, the throne room doesn't need an east or west entrance, and in fact the north entrance is secret behind the throne. So there's only one way in, and it's visually one way out. Although if you know, then you know, right? Oh, Google's look LM. Basically, it uses Gemini for the AI stuff, and then you add sources for whatever project you're working on. So any docs or websites or whatever. And notebook LM only goes only looks at the sources you added. It doesn't go out to the web or anything. Although you can ask it to search the web, because using Gemini. Okay. Hang it right. Does it need an east exterior door? It's an interior door in the east wall of the throne room into the admin from outside the castle. The throne still only opens south and north. Secret. Enter south. Face the throne, looking north. Right into the administration backstage. Behind the throne, the door people aren't supposed to know about. That keeps the hall axial and ceremonial admin off stage and the north door for plot privacy rather than daily traffic. Yeah. It also makes sense for security. If you're not into the AI tools, don't like it, or whatever reason, I wouldn't expect you to know if you don't like or just don't use any AI tools. I'm using it to using AI chatbots to help me with my game. Usually to bounce ideas off. I don't normally fully take ideas that an AI generated, but it's pretty invaluable if you want to talk to something that talks back like a person. Thanks for the I'm a little um what am I looking for? I don't like to say my birthday. That's not right either, because I'll tell people when my birthday is. I don't tell people my birthday so that they'll wish me happy birthday. I usually just do it as, sometimes I'm lamenting the fact I'm whatever age I am, right? I just turned 51 and, you know, I don't um I don't have a job, I don't have a girlfriend or a wife. Never been married, never gone on a date. I've only had one job in my life. I don't drive, you know. Um, so take that what you will, but I don't really days. Uh, thanks. Uh, yeah, I mean, I personally I don't do it so that people wish me happy birthday. I'm kind of like, well, should I say it? Because everybody just say happy birthday to me, and it's just like I'm saying it because they say happy birthday to me, and I don't really care that much if you say happy birthday to me, even if if I'm telling you. Normally, I'm just kind of complaining about my age or whatever. Usually, don't say when my birthday is for the well wishing. I normally just do it because either a topic, conversation, where you up to, or if I'm like not online or something. So it's about half the time I'm like, should I say anything? And the other half I'm I'm like, well, birthdays are boring, and so I'm just lamenting the fact I'm a year older. Or sometimes. So it's like I feel kind of sleazy. I guess not sleazy. For for saying it. At the same time, I do it anyways. Anyways, good evening, Rook. Good evening. Okay. Also makes sense for security, having basically one entrance and exit. Although secret exits are a thing. Force security also can be a compromise. Since someone could find out about it and exploit it. That's a real Fortress Palace logic. One public door, easy to watch, guards, ceremony, control who goes in and out. For Max or a real king, that's the point of the audience hall. You want a choke point. Feature escape, private arrival, the king was never here. Link to stairs, apartments, service lot crossing the court. Compromise. If the wrong person learns it, start maxed by violence network. It becomes the blind side. No crowd, no ticket. Both tones, the room feels secure and impressive with a single face, and the story still has a pressure point if that secret ever leaks. And halfway knows everything. Um, although, because it didn't occur to me until now, he doesn't utilize a he doesn't need to sneak into the throne room this time. At this time. Yeah. I book out halfway knows the map, pokes outdoors. Does it need the throne? Sit in your head, and his for later. Okay, so give me a dump ready blurb for all that we talked about. Try not to use actual charts because text rarely translates. Just use text. We hate AIG. Okay. Ba, 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 ba. Let's see if we can get this part done today. I'm not gonna get the whole rest of the chapter done today. That's gonna take a while. Although it'll be easier being in air because I don't have to deal with any like logicality. I mean, I have to be able to picture, the directions and stuff that Sir William and the Black Knight move in and stuff. But I don't have to have any like specifics, like spaces. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it used to be um what was I saying? Oh, decided early on how that would work. So like when you're going into a building, that doesn't mean south on like cardinal directions, right? In other words, the doors, the front doors can be any orientation. It could be facing east, west, north, or south. But on specific orientation, you're going from the front door to the back door, right? If there's a back door, it doesn't have to have a back door, but if it's a building with a back door, you go from the front door, you go to the back door, all right? Front lobby, right? Front this, right? You go into an offices and now there might be more stuff like to the sides, but you go to a dentist's office or a doctor's office or whatever. You're there's a front desk. At least there's a front desk. Let's say office building. There's a front desk, and then the all the stuff is either behind or to the side or above or whatever, right? So that's the way that the castle and the basically the island in the sky, island in the clouds, whatever you want to say, goes like that. So if you're saying cardinal directions, now again on a map, if it's an island in the sea, you can be north, south, east, or west. Really, pretty much any orientation. It's not really true because it's really cardinal rules, right? So you have an island in the Pacific and or like a Hawaii or something. The north side is literally the north cardinal direction, on the Earth, right? You're going from if you go if you go from the southern border, which is what borders Mexico, so you go through Mexico, then the United States and Canada, you're going north. You're also going north directionally, right? Our north is means north on the essentially on the planet, right? North. So and then the land kind of does that too. Now, the way I have Enchanted Lands situated on the ground, it's just like an island anywhere or a continent or whatever. You go north, so you go north towards the mountains, right? The Now the thing is up in the sky, so cardinal north. Anyways, I've basically aligned everything to the cardinal directions. So so the back of the castle is actually on the north side of the plateau of the island, you might say. So the front facing doors, the main doors, the main drawbridge and everything, um, is is on the south side of the building of the castle. The north terrace is essentially the back of the castle, basically. So kind of makes sense in your mind how it all pans out, basically. So, admin castle, courtyard, throne, service, layout, lock. Now I don't know if this is gonna say it here. When I said a barrier the between the North Walk and the rest of the courtyard, I mean like a like a stone fence, low stone fence with a gate. You know, you can have guards there, and then it's still open toward the courtyard, but you can only go into the gate, into the center gate. Public art is the inner courtyard on the surface level. Same datum as the West Terrace, ticket booths, covered walks, throne room, East Terrace exit, service and utilidor style staff areas sit one floor below. Galleries and towers go higher, but tickets and courtyard are not up from the entry. Tourists are already on the shore floor when they clear check-in. Anything underground is back of house. Tourist flow is west to east after tickets into the courtyard zone, then outward toward the east side depot departure. The cover walks are first of all architecture, castle wings meeting around an uh, open middle, a cloister that frames the garden, not rain fortifications. The Enchanted Lands is sunny next to the world, usually fair, temperate, magic, soft light that doesn't punish you. Seasons still exist, but mild and noticeable rather than harsh. A rainy stretch is mostly drizzle, enough for the plantings. Winter's light snow, sometimes a prettier dump for Christmas or other controlled holiday weather, like a wizard like halfway might dial up. Never too storm or bitter cold that demands layers, so the walks give light shelter from drizzle and dusted snow, but they exist because of how the castle is built. Inside the court, a fountain in the middle, benches, hedge, some rows or similar beds. Beds is what I was looking at. I said plots, but rose beds, right? Default tourist spine is the southern covered walk, straight under cover west to east. Guests may also peel into the open center, sit by the fountain, walk around it, continue east. That center access is an optional postcard path, not the only door. A clean setup is one controlled entry zone west of the court after the booths, right? Then choice stay on the south arcade or step out into the fountain and rejoin toward the east. The north covered rock is restricted staff state band, a barrier and a gate separate it from the rest of the courtyard. So tourists don't casually stroll to the throne facade. Staff can move from that band into the court and other areas. The gate opens for public mainly when there's an audience with the king or a performance of one. Under the North Strip, the service runs west to east. Staff can come up into the North Walk for edge for routine work. The throne room is not the daily staff highway. Laundry and kitchen traffic don't cut the audience hall, but authorized castle senior staff may use the formal route through the south double doors into the throne room, entering north from the walk. Then hang a right into a side chamber used for regular resort administration and senior conference. The big hall stays ceremonial, petitions, crown optics, occasional forum council. Day-to-day running of the lands lives in that backstage room off the throne. Uh, I'll go. Um, so we just finished Lee's turn at the doctor and are now in Baker era. Um, in the middle of the second story, we tend to watch them like movies, only breaking up if it's too long for one sitting. Okay. It actually, on the one hand, they said it would take all the jobs. On the other hand, people are saying this won't happen or not for a while. Um, Me, I'm going to say AI in combination with robots will eventually take all of the jobs. Okay. Uh, let's see. Exterior drawers. Yeah. No east-west exterior entrances. North behind the throne is a secret door. Private arrival escape. Linked to stairs. Apartments restricted service. That secret is useful and also a compromise. If the wrong person learns it, blindsides the seat of power. Hubert halfway knows the whole map. Public face, gated north walk, admin chamber, secret door, service under the north, but does not need to sneak. The throne room on the current west-east service beat, staff door by the ticket booths. Um, okay, that's good. Need to save it. Cut print. Oh, dang it. I have to select it first, and then I have to save it. But due to wishful thinking, because I heard some companies reduced some jobs, but then had to hire them back because AI wasn't doing as well as it was supposed to. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. So I'm going to have to fix going in, correct? Submit. Yes, going in is the page that still has the old vertical logic. Door by ticket counters already in the service corridor. Stairs up to the main floor. Choice upstairs. Choice becomes something like stay in the service and work east end of the castle. Or if you keep the service option, get back up to the courtyard level. Yeah. Pass them up in the gallery and the outline beats and tear in the skies. Wherever they still say he goes up a floor and discovers the courtyard, that beat. He's he's going to go down first and then up again. So the staircase entrance is still valid. It's just I'm going to make sure the tourists aren't going up to the courtyard. In fact, could you tell me which pages the tourists go up in? Yep. people are going to have to figure out a new way of working, like owning the AI or robots that do the work. So instead of hiring you, they could hire your AI agent. And that's honestly society-wise how we should handle as well. Well, I'm ultra. I don't mind saying this to anybody, even if they don't like me. COVID was an attempt to test um, how far they could control people. No, all right, I don't need to say that. I'm ultra conservative, so just so you know. So if ever you know voted for Trump, I'm a Christian, born again Christian, um, completely believe Christ lived about 2,000 years ago, and literally walked the earth. It was literally God and man at the same time, um, and did die on the cross, did rise again, resurrect, and there's actually well, I won't go into it just because I can't personally call up anything. I have to actually do like some actual like research. But there's proof they existed. There's proof. There's archaeological artifacts that are always proven in the Bible. Stuff like that. So, anyways, I'm not trying to preach to you or whatever. Like I said in these streams, it's about my game and stuff. I'm just letting you know that's me. So, Christian conservative constitutionalist. Uh, you know, MAGA Republican. You know, in that order. Republican is kind of down on this. You could say white male, straight white male, straight white male as far as the identities go, or the white male part, um, is not really important as far as identity goes. I don't do like I identify with my skin color. It's not white anyways. It's like peach or I don't know tan or something or like almost pink. It's not really pink because I'm not that like that white like like a redhead or something. But and they're all really we're all the same color skin color, believe it or not. It's just the amount of melanin you have, and so those with a super amount of melanin, you see the going around the internet this it's like I guess it's a woman. I'm not saying I guess it's a woman. I mean the picture is a black woman, but she's like so black her skin's almost like bluish, you know, and that's because she has that much melanin in her skin. Uh, and so the further you go, the more the whiter you get, right? But we're all same skin color. It's not. It's just the level of melanin in your skin that shifts the hue of your skin to one end or the other. So you have less melanin. You shift towards lighter. So redheads and gingers, I guess. I don't know. Ginger sounds like it's supposed to be a derogatory term or something, but um, where they have the super pale skin, and they're more subject to sunburns. The darker melanin, I think the darker melanin was built into us um, to help with sunlight absorption and reflection. Because the farther south you go, for instance, um, the the darker your skin needs to be so you can survive without the ultraviolet light hitting your skin so much and like causing like cancers and stuff. Anyways, I don't know why you went off on that. Get back to my game here. Okay. Short answer: no narrative page actually says tourists go up to the courtyard. With this halfway going up to the main floor as the courtyard, which implies tickets are below the court and would make tourists go up too. That implications what you're killing. Pages that encode courtyard is up. Going in. Staircase to the main floor. Choices to go up. In the gallery takes the staircase up the next floor. Large courtyard. Later descends more stairs. Same beat. Tear in the skies. Not tourist POV. They're tourists mentioned near this area. Not go up. Tourists in line at west ticket booths. Backside of the castle. Turnstiles to counter West Terrace in search of half magic. Tourists come out the door near the courtyard entrance into the hallway. Halfway is using odd under the new lock. Guests should be in service, but it never says they went up. Bottom line, you don't need a tourist page hunt for go up. Fix going in. Okay. Well, at one point I had described tourists going up a staircase into the courtyard, but evidently I hadn't done it in the pages, unless I did it in the event text. Okay. In the gallery. Okay, so let me pull up, is, where is going in? Going in is backside of castle. Okay, so let's open these up, text editor, and let's fix these real quick. The backside of castle, going in, okay. So there did some halfway walked along this line. Finally, when no one seemed to be paying attention, started walking down the wall toward the north terrace. As soon as he turned the corner, huge omni gate come into view. This massive steel structure composed of a smaller dish at the top, a larger one at the bottom, with a sphere that seemed to be composed of hexagonal panels. At the moment, personnel were engaged in this machine, so this is what all this is about. Very impressive. There was a long garden in the back with the castle. Looked almost like large enough. Halfway was done admiring the Omni Gate. He wondered if the guard had seen him, but apparently no alarm was raised, so he was safe for the moment. He started to follow the guard, and pretty soon he could see another guard coming toward him in the other half of the garden. The other guard had not spotted him yet. Okay. So the backside of castle didn't do anything. So, um, you mentioned the back side of castle, but he goes in via the back. So no, he doesn't go in via the back. But he just goes around to the east side. On that page. Still didn't turn out. So you describe Exzel only uses tourists as cover in the west ticket line. Halfway slips away, follows the wall toward the back, sees the Omni gate in the garden, and then the guard choice. He's going around out the outside, not into the courtyard. Nobody on that page goes up any stairs to the court. Okay. Going in. I'm up in the gallery right now, and it will still be fine. But I still need to fix going in. Okay. Have I opened the door next to the ticket counters? Nobody stop. Open the door next to the ticket counters. Nobody stopped them because they were working with limited staff, and it seemed like maybe a lot of the castle and resort staff had been thinned out quite a bit from the recent events. We're gonna cut just okay. Inside the castle looked like a beige marble with gold trim. Okay. So I took that little bit of line out, and so I'm adding line. What is a vestibule? I mean, I've heard the word before, but what is vestibule? A small room, hallway, or antechamber located just inside the outer door of a building, serving as a transitional space between the exterior and the main interior. Derived from Latin vestibulum, it functions as a buffer zone to control heat exchange, block outside views, and provide a place to store outdoors. And various term refers to anatomy, body cavity, or hollow space, serves as entrance to another cavity, such as vestibule of the ear. Railway is an enclosed area at the end of a passenger car that connects to adjacent cars or the outside, even featuring not power operated doors or other tight seals. Camping, a covered extension on a tent. Religion, Christian churches, vestibules known as the X, used as a greeting area. So if I had a door open onto a small platform, maybe only a few feet in length, or and or a few feet wide, enough for one or two people to walk through, and then immediately go down some stairs. Would that be called a vestibule, or does it need to be almost like a room? My nose is bothering me because of the allergies. In fact, it was humid earlier, and now I'm not humid, but my nose is bothering me now. So pollen counts are probably pretty high out here, and I get bad allergies sometimes. Actually, being here in Florida, I haven't had allergies as much. I still have them for sure, but not nearly as bad as like when I lived in like Oregon or whatever. Based on architecture, here's a distinction: enclosed space, room, or antechamber. Okay, so it's got to be enclosed. I see. Like an airlock for temperature control. Like an airlock could be counted as vestibule. Be surrounded by walls and a ceiling separating the exterior from the interior. Strictly an interior space, or fully closed extension situated between the outer door and the inner door of the building. Since your platform is open, implied by a platform at the lack of mention of walls and roof, the stairs go down immediately after the door. This lacks the enclosed room-like quality. What is likely called, depending on the specific construction and location, your description fit these terms better. Landing. If the platform is simply a flat area at the top of a staircase, is architecturally defined as a landing. If it is outside, it is an exterior landing. Porch or portico. If the platform is covered roof, open on the sides, it is a porch. Stoop. If the platform is small, uncovered, or lightly covered structure at the entrance of a building, often leading down to yard or street, is commonly called a stoop. Platform. Entry platform. Okay, so my game is a fantasy comedy adventure, and in order to access the service floor corridors of the castle, there's a service access door from the outside, and then you must go downstairs to get to the service areas. Most likely, this would be a stone staircase, but a short and or small one. I had a problem with my layout describing a character going up to the courtyard from this entry point. But later on, I decided that the external access is at a surface level, and the service area is underneath. Like it goes underground. So I need a down a staircase going down. Okay. Okay, I need a staircase going down in order for him to go back up again. It was suggested there was a floor in a small area with the stairs going up. So it's not just dropping down directly. I could still make it a vestibule by making this short area have a ceiling and walls before dropping down. Need to an arrow to get AI to make me money with like virtually no resources to start with. Start with. Yeah, I know a bit about that. I'm not sure if I've ever actually seen poker, but it used to play on the cable channels all the time. Tom Baker started in 1934. Yes, if you enclose that small landing area with walls and a ceiling before the stairs descend, it technically becomes a vestibule, specifically a stair vestibule or entry vestibule. In the context of fantasy, the architectural choice offers several narrative and functional benefits. Definition map. An established vestibule requires enclosure. By adding a roof and walls near your small platform, you create an antechamber that separates the outside world from the underground service corridors. Function, it acts as an airlock or buffer zone. In a castle setting, this prevents rain, snow, or cold air from rushing directly into warm service tunnels or cellars when the outer doors open. It also hides the view of the descending stairs from passersby in the courtyard. Transition space. It provides a distinct moment for your character to transition from the bright open courtyard to the dim enclosed service area. This is excellent for setting the mood. Sound of heavy door booming shut, sudden drop in temperature, comedy potential, getting stuck. Heavy door slamming shut requires a specific lever to reopen. Misdirection in the chamber, expecting a grand hall but finding a tiny cramped room leading to a dirty staircase. Hiding a tight spot. Okay. Solves your layout issue perfectly. The character enters the surface level, steps into a closed vestibule, then descends stone stairs into the underground network to return. They climb the stairs into the vestibule and exit the surface. Depending on the tone of your castle, you might flavor it differently. Your descriptions or dialogue. Gatehouse entry, feels fortified, cellar hatch, undercroft entry, the sally port, a military term for secure, often hidden entry exit, which fits a service entrance well. By enclosing the space, you turn the simple hole with stairs into a distinct room with atmosphere. Um, so does a vestibule need um, an exit door, or can it be open? Like, should there be a door before hitting the stairs? Gotta get it to like your app, or maybe stop tricking for you or something. I mean, these dang guys should be good for something. They shouldn't be just for big major companies to take your jobs away, right? Technically, a true vestibule requires two doors, an outer door and an inner door. You prioritize architectural terminology or functional atmosphere. In modern building codes, efficiency defined in the closed space of two sets of doors in the series. The goal is to ensure that both doors are never open, simultaneously creating airlock that prevents heat loss and drafts. Open to stairs. The space has walls and a ceiling, but no second door before the stairs. It's technically just an enclosed entry hall or stair lobby, not a foyer like vestibule. Okay. You don't strictly need a second door for it to feel like a vestibule in game context, especially if the inner door is replaced by the nature of the stairs themselves. Stairwell, second barrier. If the stairs descend in dark enclosed tunnel, or if there's heavy gate, uh, buffer zone. Hmm. I could just maybe I should just put a landing. Lobby makes you think of hotel lobbies. This is literally just an area before hitting the stairs. I can still write it to have walls and ceilings. A ceiling, or even just a pathway from the door to the stairs with no walls or ceiling. You're just inside. Okay. Um, yeah. Oh, that's going too loud. I should. I keep forgetting. I should always turn down the stereo when I come in to work on my stuff. And it's about time is about up for me. So I'm not even getting one page done today. So I guess that's how that goes. To reconsider vestibule if there's no secret second door. Small flat area, enclosed or not, immediately before the stairs. Landing is indeed the most accurate neutral term. A flat platform at the top or bottom of a flight of stairs perfectly describes an area before hitting the stairs. It does not require walls or ceiling. He stepped through the service door and onto a small stone landing, and then descended the winding stairs. Variations: top landing, exterior landing. It's outside the main building. Entryway or entrance. Immediate area inside or outside a door. White fits avoids the hotel lobby connotation of lobby, and room connotation of vestibule. It works like If the space is wall or open usage, the service entryway was a little more than a ledge before a dark stairwell. Okay. Stoop, if open to elements, which it's not. Threshold. Strip of wood or stone at the bottom of the doorway, metaphorically the point of entry. He crossed the threshold and began his descent into the castle's underbelly. That's yeah. And it's not even gonna be, well, it's gotta be a floor, I guess. So it's gonna be yeah, does it have to be? Okay, so I guess vestibule is something with something enclosed all sides and has two entries, exits, um, like an airlock. This is just going to be almost, uh, it's just going to be like a landing. Um, I was talking to Brave Leo, and it was saying, it was giving an example usage, and both times mentioned spiral staircase. Now, technically, the service area is one floor down, so that's like maybe 10 feet or more, 10 feet more or less, depending. So it might need a fairly large staircase. So maybe it should be a spiral staircase. Although I'm not 100% sold on spiral. Sold on it. Okay. Okay. You're right to drop vestibule if that reads as airlock, which you want a simpler staff door, short landing, or just the top of the stair, down one stairway, and just one floor is roughly 8 to 12 feet of rise. That's the normal stair, not a monumental one. Compact footprint behind the ticket wall. Phil's staffel castle fits a tight pocket so guests don't see a grand stair through the door. Awkward with trays, carts, laundry. Slower, less resort, back of the house. Real hotels usually avoid spirals for daily service. Straight or L-shaped stair. L-shaped. I could do L-shaped. Normal preserves people with light loads move easily, utility or not wizard tower. One flight of 14 to 18 steps or a half landing turn if you want it shorter in the plan. It needs a longer or wider slot in the plan than a spiral. Practical nudge for Enchanted Lands. For halfway sneaking in a real castle staff, a straight or dog leg stair with a small top landing fits better than a spiral. Save spirals for towers. Okay, yeah. Okay, 10-foot drop, but how how long or wide, I guess. Not step width, but staircase length. See what it says. Oh, getting poor reception stuff here again. Dude, I wonder if downloading FX upload streaming, it shouldn't, but it might. For about a 10-foot drop, one story, a straight stairs run, how far it stretches along the floor is roughly about 14 to 16 feet end to end. Comfortable steps 7 inches up and 10 to 11 inches forward. About 17 to 18 steps up. Horizontal length 16 to 17 treads, 15 feet, give or take a foot. So roughly the length of my, well, a little bit wider than my, like my room's like a 10 foot on a side, so so an L-shaped staircase might work better. In fact, you could turn left or right, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's a castle and it can be big, so I guess 15 feet long isn't too bad. Castle that size, 15 feet of straight stair is nothing. It's one short flight under the west ticket wall. Top landing just inside the staff door. Bottom into the service corridor. Mm, mm. Suppose also if I wanted a shorter footprint, the staircase could be against the wall. Against uh, against the wall helps placement, not the raw run length. That doesn't mean that's not what I mean. What I mean, I mean actual like distance of the actual the corridor. The corridor isn't going to be that big. It's going to be big enough to push carts through, 3 or 4 people across. It's not going to be huge. It's going to be big enough. Straight flight tucks the stair into the edge of the plan along the middle of the floor clear. you need to you fold it, else shape or switch back. Half landing, packed into, yeah. Not so worried about the actual length, just the width of the service corridors. Corridors. They can be wide like 10 or 15 feet even, but the stair would take that whole width. So then I need like a 20 or 30 wide hallway, which is not unrealistic, but not really what I'm picturing. You're mixing up the two dimensions, easy to do. Length, how far the stair travels as you walk, right? Yes. Well, that's what I mean. There does not need to be as wide as the corridor. Okay, so let me rephrase. I'm not worried about the length of travel of the stairs. If it goes straight from the door down to the bottom floor, that will extend into the hallway, which would probably cover the whole hallway. Not talking stair width. So I suggested doing it along the wall. That way it doesn't extend into the corridor. I can still do a switch back, which isn't too bad either. We'll say, for sake of argument, the stairs are, do I want to say, like that's probably, I don't know, 5 feet wide. 5 feet? 60 inches? Does that look right? Wish I had a tape measure, but 6 feet wide, 6 feet and 6 feet. That's 12 feet. That's not gonna work either. Feet wide along the wall. That's still, well, 10 feet. Wait. 10 feet. Feet. 15 feet. 15 feet. 5 feet. The stair width itself is about 5 feet. I don't know if that's even too big, but if that were a switchback, that would be 10 foot into the corridor. But if we're along the wall, 5 feet into a 15-foot corridor, and not wide is it? I'm probably still thinking of this incorrectly. Okay. Let me parse carefully. Well, the layout wouldn't be like that. What you'd have is you'd still have a 15 foot wide corridor, maybe not that big, but 50-foot wide corridor from bottom of the stair to the bottom of the staircase going up. Okay, and so you'd have that 15 foot going back from there to the wall. Okay, I guess that's a thought. You got it right now. Was biting you. A straight flight from the door aimed into the corridor uses 15 foot to run against the corridor's short dimension. 15-foot wide hall. That run tries to cross the whole hall. That covers the whole hallway feeling, not stair width, stair length, pointed the wrong way. Along the wall parallel to the corridor, only the stairs width eats into the hall cross section. If the stair is 5 foot wide, the corridor is 15 feet. You still have 10 foot of clear walk, totally fine. Switchbacks in the corridor, 2 flights side by side, 10 foot of width taken. 15-foot hall leaves a skinny aisle workable, a bit chunky, better in its own stair pocket so that the corridor stays clean. Yeah, yeah. 5 foot stair width. A bit roomy, not crazy. Everyday single file is more like 3 to 4 feet. 5 foot is comfortable. Castle service. 2 people can pass. Trays are fine if you want that. Cleanest picture. Door short. Okay. Stairwell. Yeah. I didn't realize what a stairwell was. I mean, I knew it, but I always associated it with staircase. A stairwell is like a modern building that has a spiral going down and up in a well. But I get what you mean now. The corridor is its own size, not sharing space with the stairs. Also, we have ticket counters at the surface. Now these are rooms. They can be small, short rooms, but I'd imagine these rooms would also extend to the floor below. Storage, closets, even even bedrooms, possibly. So then a straight staircase can have these rooms underneath. It just means the outer wall of the castle and other walls to, I suppose, would be 15 to 20 feet thick or something. And wouldn't bat an eyelash, as they say. It wouldn't bat an eyelash, which I don't really know what that means. Bat an eyelash. It means you wouldn't even blink. Eyelashes usually refers to women's eyelashes, basically, even though everybody has eyelashes for real, anatomy wise. Uh, yes, on the stairwell, it's just a dedicated box for the stairs. The service corridor keeps its own full width. It doesn't share its cross section with the flight. On the ticket room stacking down, that's part solid surface, small ticket check-in rooms or booths. Below, storage closets, lockers, even spare staff bunks. Same footprint. 2 uses very castle class resort, where the thickness idea drifts a bit. The 15-foot stair run doesn't mean the outer wall is 15 to 20 feet of solid stone. That is 15 foot is depth into the building, how the plan goes inward. Not the curtain wall is 20 feet thick. You get something like outer wall normal castle thickness, often chunky anyways, mural passage defense, but that's a separate. Behind the ticket fronts, a band of rooms, stairwell occupying that depth. Under those rooms, the lower storage closets. Then the service corridor runs clear past the stairwell. So the west side can feel deep and massive without every wall being a 20-foot slab. Well, I just mean they're rooms, so the rooms are underneath the staircase. A straight stair with rooms beside or under a landing is fine. The castle doesn't bat eyelash for this building bulk, not absurdly thick shell. I just meant that rooms can take up the space underneath this the staircase. Since the ticket booth is facing the outside, and then you have maybe a 10-foot front to back. The stairs can go from that door position. Obviously, the stairs are beside the ticket booth. From that door position. Can go over the rooms below. If that assumes there the staircase isn't solid, but actually as underneath space underneath. Doggone it! I was gonna be done here at 11:30, and here I am still talking about staircases. I still didn't get. Yes, that's the real thing. If the stair isn't a solid wedge, fill the volume under the flight is usable storage. Closet, tiny bunk, lockers, classic understairs space. Your picture. Ticket booth faces out, maybe 10 foot deep. Straight stair raises, descends through that bend under the steps. Small geometry note, comfortable 1 story straight run, much closer to 15 foot of going. So either the stair continues past the 10 foot booth into the next bay, or the booth only the front 10 feet, where the undercroft rooms are deeper than the booth. Or you use a slightly steeper, shorter flight or an L so it fits the 10 foot depth better. You don't need a solid staircase. Interesting thought. Ticket booths don't need even the 10 foot, but 10 foot is okay. Um, hmm. How tall would a room need to be to fit under that 15-foot long staircase? I mean, it's a 15, yeah, it's 15 long, but there's going to be, well, if it's a floor, it's a 10-foot floor or a 12-foot floor. So 10 foot, 10 foot by 10 foot? Okay. What am I thinking? On a straight stair, the room isn't one height, it's a wedge. No, no, no. I don't mean that. I mean 10-foot rise. So okay, so it's a 10-foot rise, right? 15-foot run. 10-foot rise. At the bottom of the flight. Headroom. Um I know it's a wedge. What I should have said is if you want a rectangular room that will say is at least 10 feet wide, we'll say 10 by 10 square. How high could the how could the room be at that width and still fit under the wedge? A 15-foot long staircase. This is a math thing, so, and usually chatbots, even good ones, tend to be a little bit tougher. Although Grok 4.5 is supposed to be pretty good, so. For a true rectangle shoved under the whole wedge, height is fixed by the lowest point of the soffit over that rectangle, not the average, not the tall end. Assume 10-foot rise over 15-foot run. Ignore the structure for a second. Put a 10-foot deep room under the stair. Your 10 by 10 as far toward the high end as it can go. Then it covers a run of 5 foot by 15 foot at the low edge of that box, 5-foot mark. Thumb for your stair. Ten-foot ear square. Depth under the flight. 5 foot 6.7 feet. Maybe I'm not thinking of it in the right way either. Okay. Hmm. So you couldn't get a 10 by 10 square room and have it be tall enough for someone to stand in. Okay, something that's 10 by 10 by 10. How long would the staircase have to be to fit that? I'm just trying to decide if there's a way where you don't really see the staircase. The staircase cuts in between. And actually that shouldn't matter, right? That shouldn't matter. It could just cut through, couldn't it? I didn't think about that. Okay. It'll tell me and then I'll just normal 1-story drop, you can't. It needs 10 foot of clear height across a full 10 foot of depth. Okay, right, that makes sense. And the soffit is already lower, so that no place where you could get it flat, no matter how long you make the staircase. Longer, the longer stair only makes the slope gentler, which makes the understair wedge shallower and not taller. The tall end is still capped by the story height. You need a flight's total rise to be greater than the room height, going up more than one story or a much taller hall. For depth of 10 and a height of 10, stair length. Examples. Total rise of that flight. Minimum stair length to fit 10 by 10 under it, 10 foot, one story, impossible. But that's not what I mean, though. 2 stories. Actually, the other thing I could do and didn't think about is the stairs can just bisect any rooms underneath. That is, it doesn't have to go directly overhead. Yeah. Yes, and that's another way to think about it. The stair doesn't have to be a roof over a clever wedge room. Cut through a deeper bay. Stairwell has its own slice, rooms left to the right. Run beside storage closets under the ticket booths. Leave only classic understair triangles as leftover closet space, not as planned for real rooms. Okay. The vertical direction. Rooms are normal boxes next to it. Ticket booths shouldn't be 50 foot right. That would be too big. And the 15-foot deep, right? The booths at VDW are barely full of feet, just enough to sit or stand in. But this is a castle converted to a tourist resort. So I could still have large rooms if I wanted to. Right, both theme park booths are tiny on purpose. A counter, a stool, a terminal, maybe a shelf behind. Often only a couple of feet deep so that the key stays in the open and the building mass stays show scenery. Your place is different. It's a castle that's become a resort, not a purpose-built ticket pavilion. So you can choose the tone. 3 to 6 foot beat counter, castle check-in desk. 8 to 12 feet, small room, counter safe. Bigger chambers if you want palace administration facing the terrace. 15 foot deep isn't impossible in a castle. Something you still call a ticket booth that does feel large, more like a full office than a booth. If you want a booth, stay shallower. If you want west entrance check-in rooms, practical split that fits your layout. And here's a thought. Let's say they were regular rooms. And that the booths were closets. They can even be fairly large. Say a 5 foot by 10 foot. And then the room behind the closet door is 10 feet. So it's a 10 by 10 foot room with a large walk-in closet. Not necessarily a bedroom, but whatever they wanted to use it for. And converted the front into ticket booths with windows and everything. The dwarves are wonderful craftsmen after all, and they can carve the windows out and even polish the rock and feel transparent. The little quicksilver infused help. It's a strong Enchanted Lands version of chicken, not fake theme park plywood, but reused castle fabric. Read as built history, original chamber, a large walk-in closet, your 5 by 10 closet, 10 by 10 room behind, resort conversion, closet becomes ticket booth, counter at the new window, clerk stands in the old closet, volume, door behind still opens in 10 by 10, safe, forms, coats, break stool, door toward the staff, dwarves cut the window openings, the outer wall with a bit of quicksilver help polish turns stored translucent so reads as glass without looking like suburban panes. That keeps the booths shallow for the guests. They only see the closet depth plus window, while the castle still has real rooms behind, fits converted palace, sells dwarf craft, and leaves natural place for staff door. Stare down off that back room or the corridor beside it. Dang it, now I'm just going, nice touch. Several booths in a row, several old closet chamber pairs along with the west face, same rhythm, limited staff, halfway slips into a staff door that always belonged to that wing. Okay. Yeah. I haven't decided whether or not I'll put a space in between a room and the staircase so you could use the under staircase as a closet space, or whether they'll just join up to the rooms on either side, or even just be completely open, as the staircase is to the left of the ticket booths. So there might not even be rooms below it. And I don't know why I was making a big deal about fitting them under anyway. You aren't wrong to poke at it. It just turned into more geometry than the story needs. For halfway going in, all that matters is the staff door by the booths, landing down one floor into service. That's or beside the stair. 3. Find options, none of which you have to look at today. Gap left over under stair triangles, closet junk space, joined rooms, but the stairwell left and right. Open off to the side of the stair left booth row, maybe open to the corridor, little or nothing under it at all. Option 3 is probably the closest to what you're circling now, and it dodges the whole wedge problem. The ticket closet back room, it still stands on its own. Under stair storage was a side quest. Drop it into your sketching plans for fun. Yeah. So the rooms that connect to the ticket booth closets can be the same footprint as the rooms below them. 15 by 10 with 5-foot closet or extra storage. Or the closets only need to be on surface level. But in any case, that works, I guess. And then the corridor is from the inside facing wall of the rooms and the end of the staircase to the same thing on the opposite side, going back up to the courtyard. Yes, that hangs together. Stacked footprint optional, not mandatory. Surface 5-foot. Ticket closet, 10-foot back room. Your 15 by 10 bay. You can match a room below it with the same outline, full height storage instead of a booth, or 5-foot closet, 10-foot room again, or closets exist only on the surface. And the lower floor is open, 15 by 10. Both are fine. Service corridor, it's clear. Run on the inside of that band, starting at the inner wall of those rooms to the bottom of the west stair from the ticket staff floor, then continue through the undercastle service level to the opposite end, where another stair goes up again to the courtyard. Same idea. Mirrored corridor meets the interface of whatever room stairwells live on the court side. So both booth closets and back rooms are west skin, and this corridor is the open service street behind them. Halfway climbs back to the show floor. Stair can sit left of the booths in its own well without needing rooms under the wedge. Okay. Please write a blurb I can put in the dump file. And Halfway open the door next to the ticket counters. He climbed the stone stairs. Uh, Climbed down the stone stairs to the hallway below. One flight of stone stairs to the hallway below. Looked left and right and down the service corridor inside the castle looked like a beige marble with gold trim. Ahead of him was a staircase to the main floor. It had the same gold red trim. The railing looked like wrought gold. It was very strong and solid, not like typical. Okay, and we're just gonna cut this. Cut. I'm gonna put this down here. This, because that's really not that relevant to the text here. Okay. Okay. And we'll go ahead and place that in the dump file here. Okay, admin castle west tickets, stair service corridor layout addendum, west check-in converted castle fabric, not a purpose-built theme park ticket shed. That's fine. Along the terrace face, what guests treat as ticket booths began as large walk-in closets or regular chambers, roughly a 5 by 10 closet in front of a 10 by 10 or similar back room, about 15 by 10 bay. Um, Dwarven craftsmen cut window openings in the outer wall, and the quicksilver helped polish work the stone toward transparency so the booths have proper windows without looking like suburban glass. Clerks work in the old closet volume at the counter. The door behind still opens into the back room. Safe forms codes a place to step off the line. Several booths in a row are several old closet and chamber pairs along the west face. Those surface bays may stack over matching footprints below. Maybe they're yeah, maybe they have like bunks, and so because everybody that works in the castle also works admin, so maybe this is maybe instead of the regular rooms, they actually kind of live there for like short periods of time until they like switch out workers. May stack over the magic footprints below. Floor can be one open room, while closets only exist upstairs. Either is fine. Staff access. A door to the left of the ticket booths open in a short landing, not an airlock vestibule. Then a normal straight stair down into one story into service on the order of 10-foot drop, roughly a 15-foot run if the flight is straight. Stair width is ordinary person and tray scale, about 3 to 5 feet, not corridor wide. Prefer a dedicated stairwell or flight along the wall off the side of the booth row so the service corridor keeps its own full width. 10 to 15 feet is plenty. No need to invent tall rectangular rooms under the stair wedge. I didn't even need to put that in there, but that's fine. We'll just leave it. Service corridor begins at the interface of that west room. Okay. And you can scan the modified going in page. Dang. So I'm like way late. That'd probably be kind of mad at me, I think. But I don't know. I got to get some of this stuff done, What you change: door by the ticket counters climbs down one flight of stone stairs, service hallway below, left and right along the corridor, marble or blight. Description: second stair ahead, still offered as a go up via versus stay on service. Trim long quicksilver retrieval. Digression: parked under at the bottom of the scrap of the old staff line. Alignment with the lock, tickets down, service correct, stairs ahead, way back up. Correct intent, choice up along. Soft nets optional, not blockers. Staircase to the main floor still sounds a bit like the courtyard. It is higher prestige floor. If you want back up to the courtyard level, back up to the surface. Same stair clear words. Hit 2, head down. One of the service corridors reads like another descent. He's already below. Head along. Take might be clear. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Still has the. Okay, I'll deal with those nits maybe tomorrow. And I have to go now. Thanks for the help. No need to be rude. Okay. All right. Done for today. Thanks for the advice. That's not what I meant to do. Done for. Okay. Well. Thanks for the help. Okay. Now let me do my recording. Thanks for the help. Okay. Start recording. Monday, August 24th, 2026. Today I didn't actually get a page done. I fixed a little layout problem where halfway went into the service door up to the courtyard, because originally the courtyard was going to be one level up, but the service floor is down at the bottom, one floor down, and then you go back up. So I had him go down the stairs and then and I had this deal with this layout. I figured out I added more stuff to basically the layout of the castle and the booths and everything. So I don't want to go into that here, but so basically I just got a bunch more layout stuff done, technically without mapping it, or you could say I'm just mapping it without visually mapping it. Anyways, that's what I got done today, and we'll see what I get done later or tomorrow, whatever. Okay, so thanks for watching. Thank you for watching part 2, and I'll see you later. Maybe tomorrow, maybe tonight, maybe not for a while. I don't know. It depends.